Hey, it's Hirsch, and today I will be drawing 3 of my subscribers' OCs. This is a series on my channel in which I draw characters that you guys get to send me. If you would like to send me your OC, then email me a picture and any other information that you might have at hersheydrawsyt@gmail.com. But please make sure to include OC in the title so I'm able to see it later when I'm sorting through submissions, because this allows me to look at older submissions as well as newer ones, so don't worry about resending it. Anyways, this video was kind of unplanned because for some reason every time I plan on filming one of these drawing your OCs videos, I always get hit with art block. This one I kind of sort of predicted because I drew so much for the last 2 weeks and I did a bunch of studies trying to learn hand anatomy, which if you follow my Instagram, you've probably seen the stories, but that's basically my New Year's goal. Speaking of which, comment down below your own New Year's resolutions/goals, whether art related or not. Like I said before, my main one is to learn proper anatomy because every time I look at my old art, I realize how disfigured and wonky it looks, and I really want to improve my art anatomy by mixing in my own art style and making it look realistic proportionately, I guess. Anyways, back to the video. I was basically on the verge of art block while drawing this whole thing, so it did end up looking a little bit weird, but I'm pretty happy with how the coloring especially came out. So I did do the line art slightly differently than usual. I'm actually using a purple fine liner, which is my Muji purple fine liner, by the way. And I don't usually do this. I usually like using brown tones or black, especially lately. But this is kind of a mistake because usually if I do use a new fine liner, I'll always test it out with alcohol markers beforehand to see if it will smudge. But I didn't do that for this one and I never tested it. But however, thankfully, when I started coloring, I don't think it smudged at all. Surprisingly, the black one was the one that smudged. And also, I really like the look of it, so I think I might do more colored line art, whether it's purple or pink or blue, to experiment with my art style. Side note, it did take forever to dry and I had to end up coming back to it and coloring it the next day, but before it did properly dry, I ended up smudging a little bit of it in one of the drawings because I ended up erasing the sketch a bit too early, but it's nothing bitter white gel pen didn't fix. Also, I love how I drew the hair, like line art for all of these OCs. The sketches, I didn't really like any of the hair because it ended up looking super messy, but I think after I did the line art, it actually ended up turning out pretty good. So the first OC I'm coloring was sent to me by danmoo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, apologies if I'm not, but here is the picture that she sent me. First off, I love the colors that she used for her drawing, and I think the hardest thing about these drawing your OCs videos is just color matching it and finding the right color scheme, because a lot of people send me their digital drawings, so I sort of have to like layer a lot of my markers to get the color that I want because I don't really have all the shades. This person sent me 3 OCs, I believe, but I just chose one to include this video because I wanted to do like more people's OCs in one video. I believe this OC's name is Yalini, and basically the story is that she's from another planet in a different galaxy, but she was sent down to Earth to bring back a human for her own planet so that they could study humans and like how they are. However, she ended up getting sidetracked during her mission and grew very attached to humans, so she ends up spending the rest of her life here on Earth. First off, I just want to say I love the unique OC name because I think it's super hard to come up with names for your characters that fit them well but aren't super basic and overused. I don't know, it's just something that I struggle with a lot, and I end up going on Google and like searching up cool OC names for girls or something like that. But anyways, I love all the names that she picked for her OCs, and I also had a lot of fun coloring the darker toned skin for this one since I got to use more purples in the shading, since I believe that the darker the skin is, the more it reflects different colors, I think, or something like that. I remember hearing it in a YouTube video, but since the hair was purple, I had an excuse to play around with that. Speaking of which, 2 of the characters that I drew in today's video actually have purple hair that are super similar shades, and I didn't realize it until I was like drawing the second character's hair, and I was like, oh wait a minute, they're really similar. So I tried making them look a little bit different so that there's more variation in the spread, but you'll see that later. Anyways, now I did a lot of layering for like the crew neck, or I think it's called like a sweater that she was wearing, to get the desired color. You could see me at first, I was doing like the super pale yellow color, and then I switched to over it and did like a pink color, and now I'm just shading again with the purples because the overall theme of this drawing was basically purple shadows. And then she's also wearing a necklace, which I found really cute, and at the very end I added white gel pen highlights to it to make it actually look like a necklace and not just some really sort of weird design. Anyways, going back to the hair, I haven't actually drawn a character in a ponytail in the longest time. I've just been drawing characters with free hair and like basically straight hair, and I really need to branch out and try different hairstyles because it's like getting super boring to just draw the same hairstyle over and over again because I've kind of memorized how to do it and how the hair patterns will be. So yeah. I also drew her doing like the Korean heart sign, I think, but I forgot how to draw in the heart, that I had to draw in the heart until way later, so it does look kind of odd right now, but you'll see it at the end when I'm showing the finished result of the drawing. But yeah, I think it's pretty cute. Also, when I was coloring the eye color, I wasn't exactly sure if it was purple or not, since in the drawing they did use a more black color, and I wasn't sure if that was the purple, a stylistic choice or not. Now, the second OC is named Celestia and was sent to me by Yomiko. So this OC is actually a twin. The other OC's name is Ophelia, I believe, but I won't be drawing her in this video, though the artist did send me a picture of both of them, which is here on the screen right now. I really love the monochromatic, like purple color scheme and how the twins' outfit and the hair actually match really, really well together. So according to what I got sent by the artist, Celestia is always protecting Ophelia, who tends to put herself in danger a lot, and both of the twins are from another planet. I just noticed that I have a trend of purple-haired aliens going on for these two, but I promise that their OC is different. So the purple shades I used were a lot more cool tone than the reference that they sent me, which is like my only regret, if you would even call it that. I did wish I made the hair a little bit lighter and I made the dress a little bit darker, and I included more pinks in the shading because later on when I was shading the dress, I added a lot more blue tones than I expected, and it would just kind of spiral out of control from there. Although I do really like how the hair came out for this one because I experimented by adding a bunch of shades. You could see me that I was adding like pink at the ends to add this little gradient to make it like not as boring. And then I also added some blue to like the under hair part because I've seen a lot of artists do that to like kind of hint at like a feeling of depth or something. I also really love the dress design because it's so simplistic, but it's really fun to shade, especially the skirt. I love drawing skirts, my guilty pleasure, and it's just so much fun. I also love how they included some yellow stars in the design, or like the yellow bows and the little belt, because I think that yellow and purple are like complementary colors or something, so they look really well next to each other. I'm also very glad that I drew most of the body to get the dress in the way for this OC because I love how it looks and it's like super soft and pretty and like translucent in a way. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, but I really like how this dress came out. I am kind of sad that I wasn't able to draw most of like the outfit for the other two OCs since I couldn't fit them all on the page, but I am thinking of doing like more finished illustration for my Drawing Your OCs video instead of just doing like all three in a single page. I might just do two of them, but two separate pages so I can draw full bodies, but let me know what you guys think about that. Now, like I said before, for the dress, I did do a lot of layering. First, I went in with like this cool purple shadow tone to block in all the shadows because I didn't know how dark I wanted the dress to be. And then I went in with this pink color, assuming that it would be the right shade that I needed, but the cap color unfortunately did not match the color that I was expecting. So then I went back in with a different purple color over it, and this is like a slightly less opaque purple, so you can see that it's definitely not as dark as the shadows one. And then once again I went over the shadows with the same purple that I used before, and overall it was just a lot of purples. So what I decided to do was go in and add some blue like I mentioned before, and this first blue that I added was actually too light, so I went in with a different like darker blue, and it's a lot more saturated as well. And now we are moving on to the final OC in today's video. This OC was sent to me by Remy, and their name is Nareem. I guess they also mentioned that the OC can be called Remy as a nickname, so I'm assuming it's like a persona of sorts, or like based on themselves. So in the email it listed that Remy is 13 to 14 years old. I'm assuming the age hasn't been decided, and I do this so much, I literally cannot decide the age of my OCs because the older I get, the older my OCs get, and it's just like this weird cycle because the first OC that I created was like 9 or 10, but now most of my OCs are like in their 16th or 17 years. But anyways, back to Remy. It listed that while she does look adorably innocent, she definitely has more of a tomboy personality. Some other things are that Remy likes moving a lot. She's also super kind and sweet. She's not super smart, but she is clever when put into particular situations, so I guess that means like street smart sort of. And she also loves making new friends. I think the design for this OC is especially cute, and I love the color scheme with the teal, pink, and the yellow. I think this might be like my new favorite color scheme. I'm not exactly sure, but I really like it. The hair, I did struggle with getting the right shade because, like I said before, the hardest thing for these Drawing Your OCs videos is just matching the color, and all the people who I picked today sent their OCs as digital drawings instead of traditional, which I don't really mind if you send it digital or traditional, but I did do a lot of playing around with because I went in with a lot of super saturated colors to try and get the right color, And actually, the small mistake I made was I did the hair slightly differently because there was actually a gradient, but I accidentally made it dark on the top to light at the bottom instead of light at the top to dark at the bottom, which is what was in the reference picture, but I hope that's fine. Also, I actually originally hated the sketch and the line art for this drawing, and I was actually planning on redoing it on a separate page, but after coloring it, this might have become like my favorite drawing in this whole spread, though I do like all of them in like different aspects. I think the thing that I like so much about this is the pastels, and the eyes that I drew here are super cute. I really like the way that I drew the eyelashes for this drawing, and I think I'll definitely be doing more in this like more cartoony style where the eyelashes are thicker than the ones I did for the other two OCs. I also had a lot of fun shading this because, like I said before, it was a pastel color scheme, so I could play around a lot more with different hues and shades. I might have gone slightly overboard with the blush for the skin because I added a lot under the elbows and on the cheeks and on the lips and on the neck and everywhere, but it's really cute and it matched with the hair since the hair was also that pinky sort of color. I also love how the hair came out, mostly because the highlights are like super subtle compared to the other drawings, but it really makes a huge difference. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I went back and added some of that blue bow color to the outfit to add some more contrast, and that's pretty much how it came out. So for final touches, I added bubbles around each of the characters so I could fill in the page more and add some more color. For Remy, I made them pink to match her hair. And then for Celestia, I made them blue. And for Yalini, I added an orange one, except slightly more saturated than her sweater color so those would match. I basically did these small bubbles of different shapes and sizes, and I think it came out pretty cute. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!